Greetings on another fantastic day here in the south. The sun is shining, the wind is mild, and in between us and the sun, there's some cloud and a little bit of rain, and the temperatures are dropping over the course of the day. So tomorrow and Friday is supposed to be getting a bit cooler. Never mind, that's how it is. How's it up your way, Frank?
Yeah, very overcast, and I can just see some light drizzle heading towards me from Parongia. So there we go. Yep.
Oh well, there you go. There's our daily
Weather
forecast.
forecasts.
Yeah, we've done that part, so we'll get into the guts of the video. And I note, Frank, you've changed vessels behind you there. What's the story on that one?
That is another ship I served on, the HMNZS Kiama, a Bathurst class minesweeper. New Zealand Navy got 4 of them in 1952. Inverell, Kiama, Echuca, and Storwell. And I was lucky to serve on 2 of them, Inverell and Kiama.
Ah, and did you go far afield in them?
Yes, we went all over. The furthest I ever went in them was Australia, Noumea, Pacific Islands, and that sort of area. The furthest we went south was towards the Auckland Islands. Oh, and the Chatham Islands, of course.
Right. Okay. And good seagoing vessels, were they?
No, not really. No, they were in flat weather, but they were flat bottomed, so they really rolled and pitched. And the good thing about it was we all slept in hammocks, so you didn't actually notice the roll when you were in bed.
Oh, well, there you go. There's some bonuses then. Oh, thanks for the naval update for today, Frank. And we look forward to seeing more vessels in the future. So I thought we'd kick off today with a look back to last Friday, which was International Women's Day. And it was good to see the 3 services throwing stuff up on Facebook, highlighting a number of women who are currently serving in each of those services all through the rank structure. That's really good. A little bit different from our day. I think most of the commission, there was a few in the RACs, I think, and a few in the nursing corps. But apart from that, not a great deal of women serving. But today, frontline positions in all sorts of areas, and that's great to see. But the one group we missed out, and I'll put my hand up and say this, that we missed them out, are the wives of the servicemen and women. Because if it wasn't for them supporting the men who were in service, life would be a bit tough. And they certainly, I know, personal experience with my wife, life's not easy raising 3 kids on your own when your husband's gone. And then they have to deal with the fact that you come back and the household's running smoothly. You come back and want to return the household to how it was before you left, and wife and the family have got in a groove and you upset the bloody apple cart. Oh, God. So there you go. So it's just a shout out to all those wives. And I think it's not just while you're in service. Some aspects of service stay with you that maybe don't make it easy for the wife and family at home. So to the long-suffering wives, we take our hats off to you. Thank you. Thank you for your support and for your encouragement, because without both of those things, a lot of us would never have continued our service. Is that a true kind of thing, Frank? What do you reckon?
I've got to agree with that. When I joined, because we only had the Wrens, which were the Women's Royal Naval Service, and they only did sort of menial tasks like writers, secretarial work, drivers, nurses, and we had a few in comms, but they never went to sea. Okay. And then they eventually changed where they did away with the Wrens and they all became sailors. Oh, and that's when they started going to sea.
Yep.
I have had very little to do with women in the Navy at sea because I wasn't there. It
Yeah.
happened well after when I left. But I believe it's a different life on a ship. The days of running up and down the main drag on a ship to go and have a shower with just your towel on, I think have changed.
Hopefully so.
And I bet they don't have open showers and open toilets heads anymore.
And I see too that women are now commanding some of the vessels at sea.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
There's no what do they call it? Glass ceiling.
Yeah.
Everything's open and available. So if you have
and I agree, the wives you've got to give their credit to, especially Navy wives was pretty tough on them, because we went away for trips 13, 14 months at a time. And we didn't take our wives with us.
right.
In fact, I remember a GI saying to me that if you were to have a wife, the Navy would have issued you with one. So,
Yeah.
and my wife sort of, we got married 1 week, and 3 weeks later I was up in the Far East.
Well,
And then I came back, turned around in New Zealand for 3 weeks, and then went back up again.
I have to say, not quite so bad, but the first 12 months that I was married, I was only home for 3, but that wasn't 3 continuous months. That was collection of days tacked together to make up 3 months. So
Yeah, no, they're the forgotten heroes.
yeah, well, in their own way, the wives, partners, have served as much as what we have.
Oh yeah, yep, I agree. Sorry, I just got.
That's all right, Brent. You've disappeared. The boat's back.
It's all right. I make models here, and I just
Oh,
stood on a pin.
well, at least you stood on it and you didn't sit on it.
Yeah. Right.
Cool. So the second thing I've got, this is just a little bit of interest. Over the weekend, I noticed there was a Herald article that was dealing with Judith Collins and the current state of the NZ Defence. Now, I didn't get to read the whole article, but the little pieces that I saw indicated, well, there's no money to get the NZ Defence back on full muster, as it were, post the resignations and so forth after the MIQ and the issues that they've been facing. And this raised for me an interesting area of law, being a bit of experience in reading law. When you consider the treaty, so the Treaty of Waitangi, there's 4 articles, I think it is, and there's a piece at the beginning called the preamble, which also forms part of the treaty. And when the treaty was written and signed off, it had this wonderful bit of prose from the creators of the treaty, talking about the Queen Victoria's view about having a settled form of civil government with a view to avert the evil consequences which must result from the absence of the necessary laws and institutions alike to the native population and to her subjects. So the couple of little pieces about that. One is, so we're talking about institutions. NZ Defence, that's an institution, and government, a civil government. And it covers not only the native population, so we're talking about Maori, but also to her subjects, which were the British, which became New Zealanders. So everybody's covered by the treaty. And if the NZ Defence, as an institution or an arm of the civil government, can't perform its duties because they haven't got the money to get the people in to keep us on a good muster strength, then maybe they're in breach of the treaty. I don't know. I would think that possibly the the police are in the same boat at the moment. They're having issues around their pay and talks about strike. And if they go on strike, then the army's got to replace them. Which is not really good for government and not good for, I think in the early part of the preamble, it talks about peace and order. So those things may be under threat. So that's an interesting thing. So
Mm.
watch the space. There may be some bright legal minds that see that and want to challenge the government on their inability to keep the muster up of the NZ Defence. Now,
Yeah,
Frank, sorry, jump in.
no, so I was just getting towards that. I'm just wondering. I don't know if you remember when I joined, we had a way of getting people in the services called conscription. Now, we had quite a few conscripted people that joined when I was in, and a lot of them stayed in the end. So it might be something worth looking at again. I don't know. Because the
So
Navy is so short, they've got 3 ships, I think it is, tied up.
And so you were talking about what was the old national service?
Yeah, well, the one where we had to register all our birth dates, and then remember they used to have the draw, and you waited on the radio to see if you'd won.
Compulsory military training.
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, so that could be a solution. Good
Similar thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you were talking earlier on about your adventures at sea, and I think was it the Otago you were talking about?
Yeah,
Frank?
I was happened to be reading an article or discussing with someone. I also discussed it that I'm looking for information, if anyone can get it to me, on the Otago in the Far East. Now, it wouldn't have been between 71 and 72 because I was on it then, and we definitely didn't go to Vietnam. So I'm just wondering if anyone has any information that the Otago did go up near the coast of Vietnam and on some mission. I don't know what it was about. They couldn't tell me. I'd be interested to hear because I can't find anything in all the evidence we've got from the ships that served up there of being anywhere near Vietnam.
Okay.
So if anyone has anything that can fill in any gaps, it must have been on Otago about 66, 67, no, it wouldn't have been 66 because that was Blackpool and then Waikato. So it must have been probably 68, 60, somewhere around there.
Okay.
The Vietnam War was what, 68, 74?
I think we finished our total involvement in 75, and I think the last company was up there in the 71, 72, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So if anyone has any information that they can glean on this for me, I'd like to look into it further. It just may be a good old sailor's story. I don't know. But it would be interesting to find out. So if you've got there, just get hold of me. I'm not that hard to find. You can contact me via a personal message here on Facebook, and we'll have a yak.
Okay, thanks for that, Frank. That's a bit interesting. You had thought it would have been revealed in the ship's logs and things like that.
I can't. No, ship's logs. Ships they became pretty. When you're at sea, they're pretty empty. You know what I mean? Water everywhere, and though the boards would shrink, you know.
So I'd just like to throw in a couple of more things. So last year I had some interaction with a young former soldier who left the army post the MIQ, and he was studying at Canterbury University. And he discovered when he applied for his first year free, which had been promised, he discovered, much to his horror, that the first year free scheme did not apply to him, as his training in the military had been used as his first year free study. So I had an interesting conversation with him and encouraged him to appeal that decision. And this year he sent me a text a couple of weeks ago to say that they've reviewed his case and he's been fully reimbursed for his last year's fees. So if you know any other former service person who's in a similar boat, whether it's going to a polytechnic or to a university, and they found that on applying for their first year free. They've had it turned down because their military training has been used as that first year. Let us know. We can put you in touch with him, and he'll have the magic words to help you through the appeal process. So there you go. That's a bit of a shocker. And the second one is a shout out to the Remembrance Army. So they do pretty amazing work around the country, restoring the graves of former servicemen and women right throughout the country in the different cemeteries. And last year, a friend of mine had his father's grave touched up here in Canterbury, and he was really impressed by the work done and very grateful for it. So a thank you to the Remembrance Army and those that help out. And if you come across someone, a grave somewhere that's a former service person and it's in a state of disrepair or something, or not looking good, get in touch. They have a Remembrance Army have a Facebook page. See if you can get in touch with the local people and see what can be done to help them out. So there you go. Anything more from you, Frank?
No, they've done an excellent job up in our local cemetery. They've been up there and gone through the services' graves.
Yes.
And I noticed on my father's headstone, I presume it was them, they replaced the little cloth poppy that we always had there with a ceramic one.
That's right. Yeah, I understand that's right. Once they've done a grave, they put a ceramic poppy on it. That's
Which is very impressive. I'm very impressed. Yep. No, they do a good job.
Okay, so we'll go into the what's happening, the whens and the wheres. So 27th of March at Wigram is the Vans Clinic. I understand that the bookings are full at the moment for that one. And I think there's another one coming up in May. So if you want to make contact with the organisers, Tom Turnbull, Ross Milne or Pat Duggan out at Rangiora, to make a booking for the clinic in May. That's good. So on the 2nd of March, we had the clinic in Lower Hutt. That was run by Veterans Affairs. And for ourselves, we've got an executive committee meeting coming up tomorrow night, I think it is, Frank. And if you have something that we should be looking at or investigating on your behalf, drop us a line, let us know. 20th of March is the special general meeting, which is being run online, and that has to do solely about our constitution and our reworking of that. There is a constitution available. I think Morris has got that. And the other thing I've got, events, there are some other RSA clinics coming up. They've been posted on, I think it's Facebook. So they're in the I think the northern part of the country. Papakura, Manurua, something like that, on down, I think, as far as Taupo. So hunt them out, have a look. There are some dates, and they are running, I think, currently. So have a look, see if you can get yourself down there. And the other one is, just see if I can find it. Here we go. So the for those of you who like the Flybirds, the RNZAF Black Falcons. So tomorrow they're doing a fly past at Manfield Park in Fielding. On Saturday the 16th of March, 2:45 Caroline Bay down in Timaru. That's a full display. And on Sunday the 17th of March, 25 past 12 at Tahunanui Beach in Nelson. Again, another full display. So keep your eyes open for those things. And I think it's time now for the last post of Crossing the Bar, Frank.
Yeah, can I just add one thing in there before we do that, Dennis? Any members out there who were ex-naval communicators in the Royal New Zealand Navy or Australian Navy, we're having a big reunion, and I suspect it'll most likely be our last one in New Plymouth on the 18th and 19th of October. Now, we need at least 100 turn up. So if there are any of you out there who haven't registered yet or are interested, can you get hold of me, PM me on the Facebook, and I'll give you all the details. It'll be a good reunion because we don't think there'll be another one coming after this. That's the RNZN Communicators Association reunion. Thanks, Dennis.
No worries. So, crossing the bar, Frank.
Okay, I have two today. We have NZ 19371, Ormsby, Paul Rick Rivas, known as Paul, a petty officer mechanical engineer, joined the Royal New Zealand Navy in 5/68, and he served on the Royal Yacht with Her Majesty. He passed away across the bar on March the 8th, 2024, and we have no further details of any service. And the next one we have is L28645, Edwards Faye Allison, Nee Bayliss, a petty officer Wren, crossed the bar on peacefully on the 3rd of March 2024. A service for Faye was held on the 9th of March 2024. I pass on all our condolences to the whānau families and friends of those two sailors.
Thank you, Frank. From the Army side, Romeo 851222, Mervyn S, known as Laddie Hawkins, RNZIR, passed away yesterday in Wairoa, age 75. Mervyn served in the support section of Victor 6 Company, 4 Anzac in Vietnam from May to December 1971. The tangi for Mervyn will be held today at 11 o'clock at the Mohaka Marae, 582 Mohaka Township Road. 546636 AR Alec Waiari, RNZIR, called time on the 7th of March as a result of a weak heart and marched off. He was aged 76. Alec served as a scout for 1 Section 2 Platoon, Victor 6 in Vietnam from May 71 to December 71. Nothing from the RNZAF this week, but I've been promised that we'll have something for next week. Would you like to do the ode, Frank?
Yeah, I'll start that to be a bit different. They have no grave but the cruel sea. 2 flowers lay at their head. A rusting hulk is their tombstone, a fast on the ocean bed. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. The going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them, lest we forget.
Thanks for that, Frank. And just on the subject of reunions, for the Green Hat Wearers, 2nd of 1st Battalion, 50 years since its creation, this June 28th, 29th and 30th in Burnham. Get your registrations in. I think there's a specific Facebook page for that. And also I received notification yesterday that the 1st Battalion NZ Regiment, the Pierce Battalion, is holding its final reunion in Christchurch, 23rd to the 25th of April this year. So if you want to go, contact Willie Russell. I think he's got an email address on their Facebook page. So that's us for today, folks. Look after yourselves. Take care of one another. Ring up your comrades and mates and say, how you going? Do you need a hand? How can I help you? And if you do find someone who needs some support, go to the RSA, have a chat to them. They've got support people throughout the country. Or if you find one of those support clinics being run by the RSA, go along to one of them and take your mate or speak on his behalf to get some assistance. So I think that's us for this week, unless you have something
No, I'm all good. So stay safe, a lot of you. And as Dennis said, if you have any concerns or need to talk to someone, get in touch with us. And
Frank, you did talk about a pin for your modelling. How's that going? The radio control plane.
It's I'm actually quite impressed with it. Not being an Air Force person. I don't know if you can see that.
No, maybe not. Oh, look, yeah. Good on you.
And never having built one in my life, and I didn't realise that the engines were to be offset. because of the rotating of the propellers.
Wow.
Now, that's something I learned. So I've got to dismantle it and turn it round, but never mind.
Good one. Well, at least it keeps you occupied, keeps you busy, keeps the mind going.
It does.
Excellent. All right, folks, look, thanks for your attention, and hopefully wherever you are, the weather's good, you're feeling great, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks, Frank.
Okay, farewell.
See you later, folks.